John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience here at the Alkemalon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show that we care about the things that we do. And today, I just want to piggyback just a little bit on last week's subject and conversation about credit cards and your credit and how to build your credit and how to take advantage of your credit and not to be taken advantage of, and hopefully that we don't hurt ourselves. A lot of times, as I say, good to me is not always what's good for me. And sometimes being able to use those credit cards and buy what you want when you want it and whatever you want, and then the problem becomes is when you have to pay the money back. So just a little bit back to using your credit, and I was, trying to tell you how that you would use more or less a third of that credit card at a time, and then try to make sure you pay your bills on time. And if you can afford to do it, it would be to your advantage to pay it 2, 3, 4 days in advance, but at least by the date that it's due, and always pay the total amount that's due if you can't afford to pay any more. If you could pay more, it's better for you too, because that helps you to build your credit because they see that you are trustworthy, that you're responsible, that, uh, and that you're not taking advantage of it. Unfortunately, I have seen, and, to each his own, and then we have to work and do what we have to do and whatever works for us. And I tell my children sometimes, I've seen they go to McDonald's or these different little fast food restaurants and spend, buy hamburgers or pop or coffee or water or something of that sort and charging a dollar, two, $3. There's transaction fees and all that different kind of stuff that you have to pay. So my thing is, I pay close attention to that. Everybody don't do it, but a lot of us do. A lot of people do, and I tell people, in some cases, despise not the day of small things because they are the beginning of greater and larger things. And I started my business off with penny candy, and I went from penny candy to a host of a lot of other different things, and from doing that, being responsible and being able to turn over what you make, not misuse it, but use it. And I tell people that I don't mind you using me, just don't misuse me. That's what we are. Friends are to be used, not misused. And back to that credit card, and I was thinking, when is a good time to use your credit card? When is a good time to take advantage of solidating? And, first of all, you have to learn how to use it. And once you learn how to use it and when not to use it, uh, why take it? If you got the money, my thing is a lot of people don't like to carry money in their pocket, but I don't carry a whole lot in my pocket, but I like to carry at least a few dollars in my pocket. And when I go to the gas station, if you notice when you buy gas, it tells you cash maybe $10 a gallon. Let's just say that's just an example. And then if you pay with a credit card, it might be $11 a gallon. So now you already started off in the hole because you just bought $10 worth of gas that cost you $11. And if you bought 3 gallons of that gas, now you're paying $33 for $30 worth of gas, and it goes on your credit card. And not only does it goes on your credit card, it goes on your credit card with an interest rate could be from 18% up to as much as 29.99%. So you done paid interest on the credit card right off the rip for using it. Then you got to, in 30 days when you pay it back, now you got to pay another uh, from 18%, like I said, to 30% almost interest. So, and if you had the cash money, you buy $30 for gas, you're done with it. You done saved $3 from not using credit, and you done saved another 20 to 30% by not using that credit card and having it financed and all that kind of stuff. And leading up to what I was saying about credit debt to your ratio, sometimes I pay close attention to my credit cards because every now and then, even me, I'm not perfect, and I use this my card, and every now and then, and I watches my scores every month, whether it goes up or down. And if it go down, then I question it because I know for a fact that I'm doing all I can to keep it at a level where I can my score would go up, and I'm thriving and I'm close, but I would like to have at least a 850 credit score. So if by chance I need to, not want to, I say I need to buy something and have to have it, at least I can help myself a little bit because if just the higher your score, your credit score, the less interest they'll charge you on different things. So that's another thing that you can take advantage of by maintaining your credit score, making sure that if you don't know, you don't know. But I would advise you every now and then, check your credit score. And if you don't quite understand it, and if it stays at a lower rate, uh, don't be scared. Take advantage of reaching out to the creditors and ask them, why is it that I'm paying my bill and I'm paying it on time and my credit score is not going up? Because like I say, once again, these tools ought to be used, not misused. And what I try to do is focus hard on using things, not misusing it. Even my friends, I try to use them, not misuse them. And we are helpers one to another. And there are strength in numbers. And even with that credit card, I have sat down and I talked with a few friends of mine. I said, with my credit, your credit, and a couple of other people's credit, there's strength in numbers. If an opportunity comes where we can buy something that would be to our advantage, we can take our cards and I can get what I need to get, you can get, or we can collaborate and put those things together and be able to get a little bit more and be a little bit stronger. But one person can only do so much. And when like I say, talk about when is a good time to consolidate. Well, if you got a credit card or credit cards in particular, and you have maybe $1,000 on one, 2,000 on another, three or four on another, you got a total of perhaps $5,000. Think about it. Compounding interest. Every month you're going to pay, if it's 18%, every month 18% of whatever the balance on those cards are, you're going to pay. It's not $100 and 18 interest, and that's it, and you pay it down. But every month, that's why they call it compounding, because it piles back up every month. You pay it, you pay the interest next month, whatever the balance is, you have to pay the interest on that in particular. So wow, a lot of people don't know. I didn't know at one time, but I had to learn for myself, and I asked questions. And so back again, when is a good time? And the only problem with that is you think about it and you have to map it out, lay it out, look at it, and try to figure out, if I consolidate all these bills, I take one of these credit cards, give me an opportunity to pay all of them off and put everything on that one card. So now, and the advantage of that is now they're going to charge you, you're going to pay. But for 1 year, they would give you, let's say, it's a $5,000 you done consolidated and everything is say about $5,000. So now you pay, they charge you about 5% for each one that you consolidate. So 5% own that particular $5,000. So now they add that, but for the first year, you got 1 year to pay that balance off. So now you done save yourself from that 18 to 29% because for a year. But make sure you do all you can to pay that balance. And whatever you do, my suggestion is do not use that card in particular. If you got some other ones you want to use, to maintain, or you just have to do something, only if you have to. And when you do that, if your bill, let's say that other one is, say, 5,050 or 5,500, whatever. If you paid $100 on it, let's just say $5,000. You pay $100 on that 5,000. Now you owe $4,900. The next month, that's what it drops to, 4,900. You put $500 on it. So the next month you owe the following that $4,400. So each time it comes down, it subtracts whatever you put on it because you done paid up front the interest that you owe on that card, but it's only for 1 year. Remember that. It is very important that you remember that consolidation is only good for that 1 year. So my suggestion, if you can afford it, the first month $500, the next month $500. Now you're down to 4,000. The next month 500. The next one 5. Now you're down to 3,000. And hopefully, before that year is over, even if you break it down to 300 here, there, every month, always pay more, because if you only pay what they say the minimum at the end of that year, you will not pay off that bill. And at the end of that year, of that, when that is over with, that bill comes back, and it comes back, I could say, with a vengeance, because you're going to owe either the 18% or the 29% is back onto that there, whatever the balance is. So it's very important that you the pay that bill off within that year, and that's what I focus on. Uh, from the time I get consolidate to the time that first year, because whatever the balance at the end of that first year, you're going to have to start all over again. It's, you won't have to pay interest on the whole 5,000, but whatever the balance is left, if it's 3,000, you got to pay the 18% or the 29% or 30% every month, compounded interest all over again until opportunity presents itself where you get an opportunity to consolidate your debt again. So my suggestion is that every chance you get, or whenever you get a chance, in the best time, I don't say it's a good idea if I only owe $400-500, just going to pay it off if you can, or pay $50 here, $50 the next month, and but you're still gonna be paying the interest on whatever that is. So if it's 18 or the 30%, but the sooner you can pay it off, that's when that interest stops. So taking advantage of consolidating is always good. In my suggestion, anything from, I'll say, $2,000-3,000 and up. If I could, opportunity present itself, take advantage of it. And what I say, take advantage of it. Don't let it take advantage of you. And pay that bill down. And by all means, within reasons, if you can, pay it off within that first year. So you can start over fresh. You can save yourself, in some cases, on that $5,000. You'd be surprised in that first year, if you pay that off like I suggest that you do or you need to do, you can save yourself hundreds of dollars. In some cases, depending upon what you consolidated, you can save yourself thousands. So hopefully today I'd said something to encourage you, something to give you to think about how to manage your money, your credit cards, and the things that you're doing. Thank you for listening to John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alkemalon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. And as I often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show it by the things that we do. And that's even by sharing information or whatever. But we care. Thank you. Have a great day.
John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.